Well, this is really depressing me now with all this wet weather. You know, it's it's summer. It was supposed to be dry, so I could get on with my jobs. Um, I need to get the gearbox all cleaned up, ready to go back on the engine, but I just can't do it. I've got nowhere dry to do it. So in the meantime, I'm trying to crack on with a few other little jobs. So one minor job was to get these injectors back in the fuel rail. So I'll put some new seals, as you may have seen me parading around, put some new seals in, give them a swipe of Vaseline just to get them in nice and tight, nice and smooth, and the new seals on the end. So that's a little job I've done, ready to slot back in the car. And the other good news is that I found the seal that I wanted to use again. It sits much prouder than the face of the unit, so that should give me a good seal again. So happy to have found that again, so that's good news. One of the other jobs that I've been considering, of course, was to change this main oil seal around the crankshaft. I'll be honest, I did practice doing this on the old engine and it didn't go very well, but thanks to information from people that are helping me do all of this, and I'm just going to give them a shout out briefly. One guy in particular who was always answering my questions and helping me along. His name's Carl Evans, and he's fairly well known on the or at least the Vauxhall 2.2 engine scene, and he's helping me a lot with various questions. So thank him for his patience in helping me. So he suggested, and I've since seen some YouTube videos on doing this, is to drill a screw or drill a hole, pilot hole, wind a screw into this middle bit, sort of like the black and the orange in the middle of there, and then use the screw to pull it out. And if you look at the back of the seal, you can kind of see the idea with that. So the screw kind of goes into a fresh air part, and you just pull the screw out, and that would hopefully pull the seal out. So when I get a chance, when it stopped raining, I'm going to try that on the engine that's going in the car. So I really don't want to mess that up, because if I do mess it up, it means I've got to split the engine, and I don't want to do it. So that'll be coming up later when it's drier. A bit nervous about it because it could mean some big delays, but fingers crossed and all that. Let's see how it goes. And again, a big thanks to the guys at Evotech Tuning, who John there was watching my video, saw that I was struggling with the seal, and he was on to me, giving me a part number, giving me a price, and just helping me out in that way. So thanks to him as well. Go and check them out again, evotechtuning.co.uk, for your Astra Mark IV bits and bobs. Thankfully I'm going to use this one this time. But what he is looking at for me, things like this seal, which is on the, it usually comes with the water pumps, so it doesn't, you can't generally get them by themselves, because this water pump is, the impeller is sat here, so this shields, oh sorry, this covers the water pump, so you usually get that seal with the water pump. I'm trying to reuse mine, but I want to renew this seal. So again, he's managed to get hold of some, I believe, from America or somewhere. So he's got them for sale on his website. So I shall probably be grabbing one of those. So yeah, that's John at Evotech as well, helping me out. So thanks guys, and thanks to anyone who's ever answered any of my questions. We've got 125 Pub who's helped me out with my welding. I think his name's Nathaniel. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's pitching in and chivvying me along. It's all good. Thank you very much. Well, this is Friday now, and still the weather is absolutely terrible for working outside and probably trying to do anything on an engine outside. So in the meantime, I've been busy. I've been trying to organise all the bolts and brackets or whatever for engine mounts, for the water pump, for the thermostat housing. I'm just trying to find all the bolts that I'd stored away in bags. Things like these engine mount bolts. Give them all a clean up, cleaned all the threads out, ready for any new thread lock. Yeah, and just sort of organising things ready to go back in the car. These are all the gearbox bolts over there. Cleaned up this damper thingy that hangs on the crank. That's the bracket for the gear shift cables. I've just given a quick paint up. So all we need to do now is get on with stuff outside really and get the gearbox ready and bolt it to an engine and put it in. But yeah, right now I'm just doing preparation work, making sure I'm prepared for the next steps to go as smoothly as possible. Well, with the weather not getting any better, I brought the gearbox inside, protected all the carpets and things, because we need to do a few jobs. We need to switch out this shift mechanism. We need to drive this pin out somehow. So we've got that to change. We've got the slave bearing cylinder inside. I want to fit that in ready. And then try to just give it a last clean up. I don't know whether I can paint it inside. We'll see about that. I do need to get these seals out from the gearbox down by the drive shafts. I'm just waiting on a bit of a puller to try and pull those out nicely. So we'll see how that goes. So step one on this shifter is that you take the circlip off the end of this piece and tap it through with a hammer and a punch or whatever, screwdriver. Just knock it out. So that's out of this bracket, and then we can drive this pin out. Well, pleased to know that this is the old gearbox first of all, but this is my final attempts to try and get this stupid little pin out the middle of the gear shifter, which I need to do in order to fit the short shifter arrangement, but nothing will get that pin out. I've tried to drill it out and broken drill bits inside. I've cut the actual, I've ground off the sides of the shifter arrangement to try and get access to it, and it just will not move. So I'm giving up. I'm not going to muller my other gearbox for the sake of the short shifter kit, so I'm probably just going to have to sell that kit, which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. Yeah, how on earth that pin is supposed to come out, God only knows. Will not budge. I've punched it from this direction, just will not move. Nightmare. So it's been a bit of a frustrating day that I couldn't get that roll pin out. But never mind, I've got other plans in motion to try and help me achieve what I want to achieve with that. So just giving it a few coats now of the paint. I'm not doing a perfect job, to be honest, but it's difficult with all of these angles and holes and everything, but it should come out alright. So tomorrow I'll try and fit the slave cylinder in there, get that piped up, and this should be dry by then on this side, and I'll be able to flip it over and paint on the top. So not going too bad, but could be better. So I'm just having a quick practice on my next attempt at pulling out the main seal. So this is the old one off the old engine. So I just drilled a small hole, put the screw in, and that's got a really good grip on that seal. You can see it's got a bit of a metal piece in there. You can see it as you're drilling it. So it's a very strong connection. And then I've made this bar, so the idea will be to, if I need to, then I can drill in a couple of screws and then put a piece of wood behind here and then just lever the seal out. So we're going to try. Wow. There we go. Much easier when you know how it's supposed to be done. So we just need to give that a clean up, pop the new seal in. So there's a new seal in. Just lubricated the sealing faces and then used the old seal as a bit of a seal driver and tapped it in. It takes a bit of doing, but just do it slowly and methodically and it should be alright. So that's that done. In terms of the engine now, I need to get this sump off. To do that I need to lift the engine up, so not sure whether I'm going to get done that today or whether it's in the coming days. When we've got the carport finished, we'll see. So back inside, I'm just going to fit this slave cylinder into the gearbox. I didn't even know there was a seal on the back of these. So anyway, there was a new one provided, and I've just Vaselined that up a bit so that it seats nicely, and pop this in. Okay, so that's the new slave cylinder in place. We've reused this pipe, nothing really wrong with it, so we've reused it. Torqued these up to 5 Newton meters, I believe it should be, which doesn't feel like much, but that's what my manual says, so that's what I've done. So now I can flip the box over and we can paint the other side. Right, I just thought I'd show you this cam cover, how it's turned out. My camera doesn't particularly show red very well, so if I go over the green it helps it to show proper red, but it's not bad. The colour match is okay. So this is Simone's post office red or something, whatever they call it. So it's not too bad a match for the car. Shouldn't look out of place. I thought it might be a bit orange, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to fit this when the engine's in the car, but I just thought I'd show you. There are a few blemishes on it, but I'm just not that bothered at the moment. It's only an engine. So that's the gearbox all painted up and nearly ready to go back in the car. Well, to go back onto the engine, and then they'll both go in together. Only thing I'm waiting for is I'm hoping that someone can do a little 3D print of this piece, which is part of the gear shift mechanism, and it's just the edges have worn down, so there's a bit of play in it. So since I can't use the short shift version on this, which had a new one of those, I'm going to ask a friend if he can print me one up, and that should remove any last bit of slop in that gear shift mechanism. So I think I'm going to end the video here, fellas and ladies. As you can see, it's still dropping down with rain every now and again, but hopefully as soon as we get that carport done, I've got a dry space to lift my engine up, drop the sump, replace the sump, reseal it, whack on the flywheel, whack on the clutch, whack on the gearbox, and then we can get it pointed at this thing. So thanks for watching another episode, and give it a like if you can. Also, if you want any updates in between videos, go and follow my Instagram, which is Mikey Jacks, and you'll see sneak peeks in between the videos. Cheers for now.